Welcome to this edition of Newsletter on 6. I'm Jim Fuller. In tonight's news, Tullahoma held a ribbon cutting for its newest school, and the American Legion hosted a 7th District Legion meeting last Saturday. We'll have these stories and more on tonight's Newsletter on 6.
Your voice matters. Think Tullahoma 2040 is the Board of Mayor and Aldermen and the Planning Commission's 20-year growth plan. Public input is critical to the success of this comprehensive plan. Please complete the community survey at tullahomatn.gov, and you can make an impact on the future of Tullahoma by sharing your ideas. We are also inviting you to a series of public meetings starting August 23rd and running through August 26th. Go to tullahomatn.gov for the full schedule and details. Again, you can get the full details and schedules at tullahomatn.gov.
Clayton's has been Tullahoma's shoe store for over 120 years, and Florence Hall continues that tradition today. We're the only shoe store in town that starts with measuring your foot to make sure you get the perfect fit in a quality shoe. That includes narrow through wide widths for men, women, and children. Clayton Shoes, the family shoe store you'll love.
We're gonna fit your style. We're gonna make you smile. Service and quality at Clayton Shoe Store. We're gonna fit your style.
The Bookshelf in Tullahoma is the fundraising arm of the Coffee County Literacy Council. Since 1988, the Literacy Council's goal and purpose has been to support and promote adult basic education in Coffee County. We enable individuals to complete their high school equivalency exam, which helps them get better jobs or continue into higher education. The Bookshelf at 114 Southwest Atlantic Street in Tullahoma is where we sell used books, which are donated to us by the community. Come see us, bring your books to donate, and join us as you find every genre of books that you can imagine.
Welcome back. Tullahoma City Schools held its ribbon cutting for its newly opened 8th school. That's Tullahoma Virtual Academy. That was on Wednesday. Philip Scoggins and I attended that event.
On behalf of the City of Tullahoma and the Tullahoma Area Chamber of Commerce, we want to congratulate the new Tullahoma Virtual Academy on their ribbon cutting. I invite you to cut the ribbon.
On behalf of the Tullahoma City Schools, we are so thankful that you all are here. You are such an invested community in our school district, and this is our 8th school. Woohoo! This is an element of the brick and mortar that exists. The rest is virtual, and I'd really like to turn it over to the first ever Tullahoma Virtual Academy Director, Dr. Greg English.
We're just extremely excited to be here. We're extremely excited to have created this space for our students. We're extremely excited to have the partners we have with Motlow, with the City of Tullahoma, with TCAT. The opportunities we're going to be able to provide for our students is incredible. This space is, I don't believe there's another school virtual academy that has anything like this for their students. We've got a regular crew that's been coming in, and they're just really owning this space, which is exactly what we wanted. So thank you for being here, and look forward to great things from Tullahoma Virtual Academy.
And let's give a whoop whoop! Whoop whoop! All right.
We'll be right back after these messages with more from the event.
I am tremendously blessed to be living at Parkview and very happy to be part of a loving and caring community.
Best thing you can say is this really a great place to live. That's all there is to it, no doubt about that.
It's your home. You just do what you would if you were at your private home. You know, we love it. It's great.
It's just like having a whole neighborhood around you, and it's fun.
It's just a great place to live.
To be honest, I was skeptical about getting the COVID-19 vaccine.
I checked what the CDC says and spoke with my doctor about the potential side effects. It definitely made me much less anxious. She told me if I have some arm pain or feel tired, that's completely normal as my body builds a defense to the virus.
I was willing to take the vaccine to protect me, my family, and my friends.
Join the millions of Tennesseans who have decided to give COVID-19 vaccines a shot. Visit covid19.tn.gov to find an appointment today.
Welcome back. After the Tullahoma Virtual Academy's ribbon cutting, we spoke to its director, Dr. Greg English, about what a virtual academy is and how it came to be in Tullahoma. Ladies and gentlemen, we're talking today with Dr. Greg English, who is the director of the new Tullahoma Virtual Academy. Greg, this has got to be a big day for you guys.
It's a big day. It truly is.
A lot of people probably don't really understand what a virtual academy is, but it's the coming and happening thing apparently in education these days. Tell us a little bit about that.
Well, of course, virtual learning isn't new. We've been, it's been around for a long time. There have been virtual schools in Tennessee for at least the last decade, which is I was kind of surprised when I found that out.
Right.
Of course, then COVID, the pandemic, and we were forced to go home. We were forced to do some virtual, and I think for most school systems it expanded our envelope of what we knew we were capable of doing. We also discovered that there were certain students that this worked really well for. When we first went home in March, what we realized was those students that sometimes might be the ones with their head down on the desk sleeping at 8 a.m. Well, when they were at home and could engage on their own schedule, they were logging in at 8 o'clock at night. They were doing work. They were submitting work. Sometimes early in the morning, but they were doing it. And some of those students actually brought their grades up to passing, which brought our attention to the fact that not every student, we already knew not every student learned the same way, but we also realized students don't all learn at the same time. Everybody's brain is most active at a different time of the day. So that really got me thinking about the need for virtual. Last year, I was the director of virtual learning for the high school. I was in charge of setting all of that up, coordinating the students, approving who could do it and who couldn't do it. And of course, we let just about everybody do it. Which taught me a lot about what not to do. Now, everything we did last year was synchronous, where we had students teachers were teaching both ways. They had students in person and they had students at home, and they were Zooming those students that were at home, which was a difficult task for them. It was a compromise. They didn't feel like they were teaching the students at home or the students in the classroom to the best of their ability. So that was synchronous learning. What we're doing here is asynchronous learning. So on your TV, you can watch a movie on demand. You don't have to get out the TV guide. You don't have to say, all right, I want to watch this movie at 10 o'clock today. You can watch it whenever you want. Our classes are on demand. So students can get up at 8 a.m. and start if they want to, if that's when their brain works, or they can wait until 4 o'clock in the afternoon. It doesn't matter to us as long as they do it.
This is a really cool idea, because it's not something I don't think we'd have ever thought of in my day.
It helps to have the technology.
Right. And am I correct in assuming then maybe the virtual part of this is not for every student, but there are some students who can adapt to it and work better in that
exactly. So I was that student, and that's why I'm pretty passionate about what I'm doing here, because I was that student. I wasn't a great student. I was a terrible high school student. I failed freshman algebra. I probably came really close to failing geometry and other classes. I couldn't pay attention. It wasn't that I was probably a little lazy too, but it wasn't that I wasn't smart enough. I was easily distracted, and I was a little bit lazy.
Right.
If I could have hit pause, rewind, replay on my teachers until I got it, until it sunk into my head, I'd have been a lot better off. When I took distance learning classes, online classes for graduate school, it worked really well for me, because I could do it on my own time. I could read the stuff as many times as I needed to. I could watch the stuff as much as I needed to until it sunk in, until I was ready to consume that content.
You said a moment ago that a kid can do this whenever they want to. So in other words, if a kid wants to do his whatever class at 8 o'clock at night, they can do that.
Yeah.
Is that in this
so
environment?
we take attendance based on a combination of logins and completion. So you can't just log in every day and that count. If you don't turn into work, you weren't at school.
Right.
And vice versa. If you log in on Monday for 20 minutes and then somehow manage to turn all your work in by Sunday at midnight, you probably cheated. So part of our requirements is that students take at least the midterm and final for each course in person. And of course, and teachers can require them to take any significant test in person. And they also have weekly check-ins with their teachers where the teachers can ask them, what'd you learn from this? What'd you learn from this? Tell me about this. So we make sure they're not just using a search engine to find all the answers.
What does a student have to do to be accepted into this academy?
As we were deciding how to determine, because we set a cap for ourselves in this first year of 50. We were advised by another virtual school, the folks up in Cookeville, the Bottle Academy. They said, start small. Whatever you do, start small, get it right, and then move on. So we set a cap for this year at 50, and we're currently at 49. We talked about a GPA. Do we want to set a minimum GPA? Do we want to, of course, attendance played into it. If a student was absent 30 days next year, we're not doing that.
Right.
Ultimately, we decided that we didn't need the best students, we needed the right students. So we created an application which required them to fill out quite a bit of information about themselves, assuring that they had internet access, assuring they had a good place to work at home, that they had support at home, that they had a parent that was going to serve as their home coach.
Right.
And then we had an interview with every student that was going to be a full-time or a flex student, which I'll talk about in a minute. They had to interview with me, and we talked about motivation and talked about why they wanted to be a virtual student. In general, if it was just a convenience factor, we didn't consider that as a good reason.
Right.
It was more about learning style. I did this last year, and I learned a lot better this way. Or I have crippling anxiety, or I get in fights. I don't trust myself around people because I can't avoid the drama. And so, we have a whole mixture of. We have an elite cyclist who trains 6 to 8 hours a day and needs a flexible schedule so that he can do that. He also travels the country competing, and so this works really well for him.
More Tullahoma Virtual Academy news is coming up in just a moment.
It's not invoice. It's not MSRP. It's not Christmas Day, although it may feel like it. It's the lowest prices in Middle Tennessee, period. Get to Stan McNabb Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram or Stan McNabb Chevrolet Buick GMC Cadillac before these prices are gone forever.
All right, the cat's out of the bag at Carroll Street Liquor in Tullahoma. Now you know where to go if you're planning a get-together and want the ideal wine or spirit. Party planning can be stressful, but at Carroll Street Liquor you'll find everything you need. Mixers, gift sets, and all of your favorite spirit brands. So if you're feeling the pressure to pull off the ideal party, come to Carroll Street Liquor and select among the seemingly endless supply of wines, spirits, gift sets, and more. Your perfect party, it's in the bag with Carroll Street Liquors.
Welcome back. We finish our coverage of Tullahoma's new virtual academy with Dr. Greg A. English explaining the flexibility of the plan and closing with a tour of the facility. Can you actually mix the virtual academy stuff?
Great question.
With the going to class?
Yeah, so we have 3 ways a student can engage in virtual learning. They can be full-time, which means every bit of what they consume academically is a virtual class, and they can actually take up to 5 a semester. The Flex program is what I think is the best thing we offer. I call it the Burger King approach because you can have it your way. Basically, you decide. Do you want to take 3 classes virtual and 1 in person? Do you want to take 1 virtual and 3 in person? You decide. Now, there are some classes we don't offer. We don't offer virtual cosmetology. You kind of, if you haven't stood behind the chair, you're not cutting my hair. Welding, things like that. We may look in the future at doing a hybrid where students do classwork and then go to school for lab sessions, like we're doing for chemistry, actually. But anyway, those students can take, full-time students can take all of their stuff. The flex students, whatever they decide, whatever they come up with, as long as we offer it, they can do any mixture of in-person and online. The only thing that matters is if it matters to them where they're enrolled. If they take the majority of their classes through TVA, they have to enroll. They're no longer a Tullahoma High School student. They're a Tullahoma Virtual Academy student.
I see.
If they take the majority of their classes at Tullahoma High School, they're still at Tullahoma High School.
Well, obviously, then, if they're able to access these classes anytime that they choose, you're obviously having to produce the classes. And are you doing that here in this academy?
We currently have 20 teachers working for us on an adjunct basis. 18 of those teachers are Tullahoma High School teachers. So they're doing all of their teaching at Tullahoma High School, and then I'm giving them a stipend to create our courses. We had a lot of options for what we could put out as far as our content. It was important to myself and Dr. Stevens that we not just put a canned product out there, that it not just be something that we bought.
Right.
We wanted it to be something worthy of the Tullahoma brand. And so we got our Tullahoma teachers to build these. And so we've got a great team. We have one retired teacher, recently retired from Tullahoma High School, and we have one teacher in Oklahoma City, Dr. Sherry Zimmerman. She left us this past year, moved to Oklahoma City to be with her family, is teaching Spanish out there, and so she's teaching Spanish for me.
Are there ever any occasions where the students will actually be in this physical facility?
Yes. Like I said, they're required to take their midterm and final in person. Teachers can send us, they can send me a test and say, they can send me a test and say, I need for little Johnny to come take this test sometime this week. And then that student has to get with me, set up a time to come in and take their test. I proctor it, I watch to make sure no cheating's taking place. Students also come in as they wish to our cafe. If home's loud, or if they just want to get away, if they want to interact with other students, because just because virtual learning works well for them doesn't necessarily mean they're a recluse. They still want social interaction. They still want to talk to people, and so we have our regulars that come in every day. They're here in the morning. They go to the high school for a class and they come back. We have students that will just come here for an hour, and we hope that more and more of them will take advantage of it as they realize it's a pretty cool thing.
You mentioned you had 50 students who are a part of the program, or 49 students who are part of the program right now. Is it your intent that this program, this academy, will grow throughout the years?
Absolutely. So this year we set it at just 50. We fully intend for it to grow again next year, and there is a plan to extend it down to lower grades in the future. Of course, again, we're starting small. We want to make sure we get this right first and then explore the other options.
You also mentioned that you flunked algebra as a freshman. Did you ever think at that point that you might be doing something like you're doing today?
No, not a clue.
Okay. Well,
but again, if I could have taken freshman algebra virtually, I might have had a chance.
Yeah, okay. Well, fortunately, other students that are coming up today will have that chance.
That's right.
Thanks to the innovation of the Tullahoma City school system and Dr. Greg English. And congratulations on this. And I think you're now going to kind of show us the facility.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. All right.
This is our conference room. So we have a grant advisory committee that will meet here. We have a student advisory team that they actually meet in there, but if we need to meet in here, we can. And of course, as we're interviewing new students for next year, we'll want to utilize that space. This is our video production studio. This is where our teachers can come anytime, and they'll be able to come in here and create their content. Of course, we have Michael Holliday. He's our video production studio manager, another person I was able to hire with our grant. And right now, he is doing a great job of helping our teachers create their first content. As they're figuring out how to use some of the software, some of the tools we have, it's a little bit of a learning curve. So he's doing a lot of training right now, a lot of hand-holding. As we move forward, he'll shift more to just editing and creating content for the academy.
Being in the television business, I bet Mike has a big job right now because
he's a busy man.
Yeah, because it's going to take a little bit to teach everybody how to operate this.
Exactly.
Is that correct?
Exactly. Yeah. So he's doing a great job for us. He put together the studio for us. He ordered all the equipment, told us what was going to work best for us, and put it all together yesterday.
Outstanding. Yesterday, okay. So you actually have students who come to this room.
Oh yeah,
each day.
There's some of them that's pretty ticked off right now because they came to hang out and their space was full of people.
Right. I see. Okay.
So they left, but they'll be back later in the afternoon.
Right.
Yeah, they come every day.
Folks, this is what school has come to, and it's exciting.
Yep.
An exciting thing, I have to say.
It is.
All right. We'll be right back after these commercial messages.
We tend to lose our motivation when we have something that's chronic, but you've got to do what you can early on as you can. After I'd exercise like that, I would have a lot of energy to do housework or whatever I needed. Well, I would recommend it highly to anyone at any degree of Parkinson.
Let us champion your recovery. Life Care Center of Tullahoma.
The individuals with dementia, those with Parkinson's, those that have maybe mobility issues, need caregivers. Well, those caregivers are 24 hours a day at home, and they never get a rest. And if they have to go to work, they're kind of out of luck. So that's why Trinity came into existence 25 years ago, to allow the caregivers to have a safe center where they could put their loved ones, know they would be well cared for, stimulated, fed good nutritious meals, have activities to their level, and then the caregiver can stop by and pick them up and go on home and have some continuity into their life.
To be honest, I was skeptical about getting the COVID-19 vaccine.
I checked what the CDC says and spoke with my doctor about the potential side effects. It definitely made me much less anxious. She told me if I have some arm pain or feel tired, that's completely normal as my body builds a defense to the virus.
I was willing to take the vaccine to protect me, my family, and my friends.
Join the millions of Tennesseans who have decided to give COVID-19 vaccines a shot. Visit covid19.tn.gov to find an appointment today.
Welcome back. American Legion Post 43 in Tullahoma hosted the 7th District Legion meeting this past Saturday. Let's watch as Department American Legion Commander Larry Kersey speaks about the importance of communication between the state office and the individual post.
Thank you very much. And without further ado, I call on the Department Commander to speak. Thank you.
It's good to be here tonight. I thank Post 43 for hosting, and the food was great, I tell you. The brownies and the chocolate chip cookies, don't you two tell on me at all. And delete those pictures, okay? The thing about being here in my own area, I've been district commander here, I've been vice commander. Every one of y'all pretty well know me. I know 279 does, 78 of course does. Thank you guys for being here tonight, appreciate it. There's a few things I'd like to get across tonight. There's 3 goals that I've kind of focused on. As I've traveled across the state, I've noticed a few incidentals that need to be worked on a little bit. Not just from the top down, but one of them is communication. There's 2 parts to communication, in my view. One of them is active. Okay, active communication to the public, especially. Active is being out there, like Lanny was saying, doing his fishing. You're out there at Walmart, CVS, Publix, wherever, and you have a booth set up, or at the fairgrounds, or whatever, when they have fair time. That's you being out there in the public, face to face, trying to draw people in to join your post or transfer to your post. The other side is passiveness, the passive side. When you're out in public, I know I try to do this every day. I try to wear something that has the American Legion, whether it has my post number on it or not. Another part of the communication is very important. I can tell you what we want to have done or do. Anyway, I can tell you tell them blue to face. But unless I listen to your reply to me and what you're trying to tell me, and I listen to you, it's a one-way street. You're going to shut me out anything I said to you from now on. That's what we're here for. We are working, Lanny and I are working, and the staff are working to listen to you. We are here to assist you in any way we can. We're not just wearing these pretty hats for nothing. We're feet on the ground out here to work and help you. To help your post grow. That's what we're here for. But to get something accomplished like that also takes educating. My goals this year is communication, education, and cooperation. If you look on my pin that you're probably wearing, you see Popeye there. All of those not here tonight.
Stay with us. Your weather forecast is coming up next.
It is wonderful living here. I don't have responsibilities of a house. I don't have all the work that goes with a house. And you can just relax here and be happy.
There's no set thing that you have to do. However, the offerings that they give you, it's wonderful.
I think the biggest thing about Parkview that is most significant to me is that we are family.
We're losing it, Doctor.
Not on my shift. Quickly, brush. Roller.
What a transformation. It's gonna be okay.
Okay, nothing.
At Paintworks of Tullahoma, we specialize in domestic emergencies with Martin Senior Paints. You can be the paint doctor too when you treat your home with Martin Senior interior and exterior finishes.
Doctor, we've got another one.
Got you covered.
Paintworks of Tullahoma. Come see the paint doctor, Stat.
Your voice matters. Think Tullahoma 2040 is the Board of Mayor and Aldermen and the Planning Commission's 20-year growth plan. Public input is critical to the success of this comprehensive plan. Please complete the community survey at tullahomatn.gov and you can make an impact on the future of Tullahoma by sharing your ideas. We are also inviting you to a series of public meetings starting August 23rd and running through August 26th. Go to tullahomatn.gov for the full schedule and details. Again, you can get the full details and schedules at tullahomatn.gov.
Welcome back. We'll take a look at your weather forecast at this time, starting with your weather history on this day. Our record high was in 2007 at 96 degrees. The record low was in 1897 at 53 degrees. Average high on this day is 87 and the average low is 67. Partly cloudy weather expected tonight with a low of 71. Chance of storms in the forecast for Friday with a high of 90 and a low of 70. Chance of storms continues in the forecast for Saturday with a high of 89 and a low of 69. And that's our news leader report for this evening. We invite you to join us each Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday at 6, 8, and 10 for News Leader on 6. You have a good evening.